Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the international webinar series on holistic health, well-being, and sustainable development 2022-2023, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 76 years of independence, India's G20 presidency, and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030 as part of awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Art, Sciences and Wellbeing. Before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः.
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's sessions. Today, we are commemorating World Antibiotic Awareness Week. As we have seen globally, a lot of antibiotics have been consumed, especially in the COVID pandemic. Because of that, we have seen adverse effects of antibiotics as due to regular consumption of antibiotics, there has been reduce of effectiveness, and we also have seen abuse and misuse of antibiotics, which has led to reduction in the efficiency of antibiotics, because antibiotics are crucial, are also life-saving drugs, and at critical times, if antibiotics that doesn't work as intended, it can create a lot of health issues. So today, let's look at information about antibiotics. So November 18 to 24, was commemorated as a World Antibiotic Awareness Week. So this year, (18 to 24th November) is commemorated as World AMR Awareness Week, that is World Antimicrobial Resistance Week. And today we are looking at World Antibiotic Awareness Week. Okay, so today is also commemorated as World Orphans Day, which is celebrated on November 13th, is an important date, especially in US, for Americans to come together and show that they care about the orphans in their community. Millions of young children face problems because one or both of their parents are no longer in this world. It is important for the community to make arrangements for their education, health, shelter, food, and social well-being. World Orphans Day is a perfect opportunity for well-meaning and social responsible Americans to show that they stand with the orphans in the time of the need. So the world's first orphanage was established by Romans in 400 AD in the West. The main reason for opening an orphanage was to provide food, shelter, and other healthcare needs to the children who had lost their parents and don't have any caregivers to look after them. The idea of looking after orphaned children is not new. The Greek legal system made it mandatory to provide financial support to orphans until they are 18. Churches in the Middle Ages also established shelters and orphanages for children. In the recent times, even in Hinduism, we see a lot of temples where running a lot of these welfare centers and welfare programs since time immemorial, even before other religions emerged or came into existence. So this concept is not new. There is a popular saying in Sanatana Dharma or Hinduism, where there is no one to look for, God is there to look for them. So in a similar way, temples have played a great role, and after that, with emergence of other religions, even churches and other religious institutions have established orphanages to take care of the orphans. So the idea of looking after orphan children or destitute women or vulnerable children and women was not new. Even if you look at the Greek legal system, made it mandatory to provide financial support to orphans until they are 18. So during the 1900s, the living condition of orphans in England became worse. Many children even suffered from malnutrition due to lack of food and proper medical care in care facilities. Soon, orphanages gained a bad reputation for not giving the required care and attention to orphans. Because of this, people in Western countries were encouraged to legally adopt orphan children to provide them a better future and take care of their health and education. In 2006, the STARS Foundation, an entertainment organization that raises funds and raises understanding of children orphaned or displaced by poverty, war, AIDS, and natural disasters, observed the first World Orphans Day. The main idea was to create awareness about the current situation of orphans worldwide. People are encouraged to support orphans by giving them the care, respect, and sense of security they deserve. People all across the globe raise funds for orphan children to help them have access to quality health care and education. Elizabeth Schuyler Hamilton, a philanthropist, opens America's first private orphanage in 1806, which was established in New York in the West. The Charles Dickens writes about child labor and orphans in the Victorian era. 1838, Charles Dickens' Oliver Twist is published. So special trains transport children from crowded cities to foster homes in the Midwest in 1854, and the orphan train movement is introduced. So the Social Security Act authorizes the first federal grants for the child welfare services and ensures that inspection of all foster families' homes take place prior to the placements. The birth of foster care in America in 1935. So a child is orphaned every 19 seconds and 99% are never adopted. So in 2020, UNICEF estimated that around 153 million children in the world are orphans, and money is raised in communities or regions and it stays in their own communities for programs that support displaced children, orphans, and youths at risk. So it isn't necessary to organize a charity drive on a grand level. You can arrange one in your school, college, or neighborhood and collect funds for the children. You can collect clothes, books, and toys. If you are donating used toys or clothes, ensure they are clean and still in good form. There is no feeling better than feeding others with food that you prepared yourself. Prepare a nice hearty meal from scratch and take it to local group home for orphans. The children there would love to enjoy delicious home cooked meal that's prepared with all love, care, and affection that they deserve. It is not necessary to legally adopt a child to support their day-to needs and education. Those who want to support numerous orphans can sponsor them by paying for their education and other day-to-day expenses. On a smaller scale, you could motivate a local knitting group or senior home to knit squares and make blankets for a home in your area. So the novel took inspiration from the life of a child laborer, Robert Blindsey. Childhood and child labor. Charles Dickens started working at a factory when he was only 12. The book was adapted into a movie in 1968 from books to the big screen. The story first appeared as a serial in 1837 when the third installment was completed and it was published as a book. Disney made an animated movie based on the novel in 1988, collaboration with the Disney franchise. So when the people show compassion and sympathy towards young orphans, the struggles experienced by the young orphans, it enables the children to cope up with the grief of losing a parent. Such trauma can lead to psychological problems, especially in younger children. Therefore, When an entire day is dedicated to caring for orphans, it reminds people to look after them and help heal their emotional wounds. Orphan children who have lost their parents often leave their school as they are unable to pay for their books, transport, and school fees. When people sponsor the education of these children, it helps them to stay in school and complete their education. Orphans living in poverty ridden countries where child labor is practiced often end up working from an early age. One of the main reasons why these children agree to work is because of lack of financial support. They have to work every day to support themselves and their families. When they are given funds for food, shelter, they can play and attend school just like other children of their age. So today is also commemorated as World Kindness Day in US, which is an internationally celebrated that was formed in 1998 to promote kindness throughout the world and is observed annually on November 13th as part of the World Kindness Movement. It is observed in many countries, including the United States, Canada, Japan, Australia, and UAE. World Kindness Day presents us with the opportunity to reflect upon one of the most important and unifying human principles. On a day devoted to the positive potential of both large and small acts of kindness, try to promote and diffuse this crucial quality that brings people of every kind together. So World Kindness Day is celebrated on November 13th every year. It is an international celebration that is commemorated, observed in many countries, including but not limited to the US, Canada, Australia, Italy, and India. So World Kindness Day was first introduced as a day of observation by the World Kindness Movement. In 2019, the organization was registered as an official NGO under Swiss law, but the history of the group stretches back to Tokyo-based convention in 1997. An array of institutions and associations based in countries including Australia, Thailand, and United States and the United Kingdom has been assembled at the conference because of their dedication, campaigning kindness in the society. The initial configuration of the World Kindness Movement would form as a result of this event with the written declaration of their inception stating pledge to join together to build a kinder and more compassionate world. In 1998, in pursuit of the same, they would facilitate the launch of inaugural World Kindness Day. So the purpose of World Kindness Day, as outlined by the World Kindness Movement, is to highlight good deeds in the community, focusing on the positive power and common thread of kindness which binds us. Since its creation, more than 2 decades ago, the day achieved truly global notice. Events associated with the day have attracted participants from every inhabited continent. These have included activities such as concerts, dance mobs, and distribution of kindness cards. While at present the day is one of the unofficial observance, it remains the hope of the World Kindness Movement to attain official recognition status by the United Nations. So should the group be successful in their efforts, World Kindness Day would join the ranks of recognized days of observance such as International Day of Peace, Human Rights Day, and World Health Day. The inauguration of World Kindness Day is designated on November 13th of 1998 after the formation of World Kindness Movement. So the day is observed for the first time in Singapore, India, and Italy with a greater reach in 2009. So World Kindness Day inspires the foundation of Kindness Day UK in the United Kingdom, a kingdom for kindness in 2010. The World Kindness Movement attains official status as an NGO under Swiss law in 2019. So there are also similar commemorations around the world that celebrates acts of kindness, generosity, and love to bring about world peace. Like in Israel, in the form of Good Deeds Day, a day for people in Israel to volunteer good deeds for others in the community on March 16th. United Kingdom, Mitzvah Day International. Community groups and individuals partake in the range of volunteer projects for those in need in their local community on November 17th. New Zealand, Random Acts of Kindness Day, a day for paying it forward and displaying random acts of kindness on September 1st. International Volunteer Day, a day for promoting volunteerism throughout the world on December 5th. So the objective of World Kindness Day is to spread kindness with small gestures. The main tradition of the day is to be kind and try and encourage kindness to prevail over hatred. Whether it is helping out someone with course, taking the time out to ask how someone is doing, or complimenting someone, the name of the game is kindness. We all have it in us. The purpose, as outlined in the World Kindness Movement description of the day, the purpose of the World Kindness Day is to highlight good deeds in the community, focusing on positive power and the common thread of kindness which binds us. So World Kindness Day started after the formation of the World Kindness Movement, and it was their hope and goal to create a day that would help to raise awareness of the importance of kindness as a unifying power between people everywhere. The word kindness has its roots in the Old English word kindness, which itself is derived from the Middle English word kindness, meaning courtesy. So perform at least 3 random acts of kindness today. Give compliments, smile at strangers, hold a door open, give up the seat on the crowded train, perform at least 3 random acts of kindness and see what magic follows. Kindness and connection go hand in hand. Take a few extra minutes to hug your loved ones and friends today. They might wonder what got into you, but they will appreciate nonetheless. So you should be kind to yourself today too. Write a short or long poem highlighting the things you appreciate about yourself and your life. So one in four children in US experience bullying at a school on a regular basis. So teaching kids to be kind to everyone, even if they are different, and to stand up on the bullying when they see it turns them into brave and kind adults. So through the movement isn't affiliated with any religion or political movement. Over 28 nations participate in the World Kindness Day, which is a day of unity. People who are constantly kind produce 23% less cortisol, which is the stress hormone. Because of the lower levels of stress, people who practice kindness age slower than the average population. Researchers from the Stanford Social Neuroscience Laboratory found that when people see someone else being kind, they are more likely to act kindly towards others themselves. So kindness is contagious. Emotional warmth releases the hormone oxytocin, which dilates the blood vessels and therefore lowers your blood pressure. So many people are focused on their own lives and can forget to take a moment to think about what other people need. Ironically, doing something nice for others isn't only good for them, it can be good for you too. Doing things for others is actually fun. So other days of celebration encourage people to take their appreciation of things to the max, while Kindness Day allows for the change to think extra special or unique ways to perform acts of kindness. Celebrating kindness and the benefits we derive from this core aspect of human condition is valuable. It reminds us that we are neither alone in our lives, nor do we live in a world where goodness is not apparent. So this week is also commemorated as World Kindness Week from November 13th to 19th. And today is commemorated as World Kindness Day, which have been already discussed. So World Kindness Week came into being when several humanitarian groups came together on November 13th, 1997 and made a declaration of kindness. What started as World Kindness Day turned into World Kindness Week, where everyone is encouraged to make a similar declaration of kindness and charity. The week is celebrated by donating books, food, or clothes to local communities and pledging to empathize with other people. Even the smallest act of kindness can go a long way, and you should never pass up an opportunity to help someone in need. World Kindness Week aims to create a society where everyone can live a dignified life. So, World Kindness Week first began as a week of observation by the World Kindness Movement, a group of associations and institutions based in countries like Thailand, England, Australia, and America came together because of their combined dedication to promoting kindness in society. The initial days of the World Kindness Movement started from this event. They created the written declaration of their inception, which started that the movement pledges to build kinder and more compassionate world. It was only natural that they would help launch the inaugural World Kindness Week in 1997. We observe World Kindness Week to highlight good deeds in our communities. Acts of kindness and goodwill are common threads that bind us. So this week has become globally recognized and now widely celebrated everywhere. Participants from across the world come together to perform acts of kindness. The sole purpose of this week is to focus on the positivity that surrounds us every day. It's a week to learn, teach, and share our kindness with others. The root of the word kindness originates from the Old English word kindness, which is a derivative from the Middle English word kindness, a word for courtesy. So, this week of kindness is observed with activities like dance mobs, concerts, random acts of kindness for those around us. At the moment, World Kindness Week is an unofficial celebration. However, enthusiasts hope that the World Kindness Movement will soon achieve official recognition stated by United Nations. This week is also commemorated as Global Entrepreneurship Week, November 13th to 19th, that occurs in the second week of November, from November 13th to 19th this year. During this week, people from various countries worldwide come together through local, national, and global events to create solutions for worldwide economic growth. So, did you know entrepreneurs were the first defined as risk takers in the late 17th century by Richard Cantillon, an Irish French economist? Entrepreneurs are individuals who start a business taking a financial risk in the hope of profit. However, with the advent of business analytics methods, these individuals no longer have to hope to make profit. They can easily forecast the probability of their business being successful by leveraging data. So, 17,000 BC, the New Guinea, where our hunter-gatherer ancestors traded obsidian for essential, non-essential goods. This form of trading would continue until first agricultural revolution in 10,000 BC. When we started domesticating animals and plants and building communities, people began specializing in a different economic niche, and goods or services they created were exchanged for the other goods or services. As specialization improved and trade volume increased, communities transformed from small holdings to towns and cities with thousands of people. The Fertile Crescent, Sumeria, and the city of Uruk are examples of these cities. The invention of money around 650 and 600 BC helped shape human society and entrepreneurship. People moved from trade by barter to a trust-based economy where value was placed on items such as cowries, silver links, and bars, beads, and tobacco leaves. Fast forward to the 1800s, where machines began playing a crucial role in economic development. Capitalism became the ideal economic approach, with people freely allowed to pursue their self-interest to better society. This era gave rise to great entrepreneurs and innovators like Andrew Carnegie, John D. Rockefeller, and Henry Ford. From the 19th century to the present, entrepreneurship became very pillar on which the global economies rest. As technologies continue to evolve, with the number of entrepreneurs will grow and the global dependency on entrepreneurship will increase. Seeing the importance of the entrepreneurship to global economic advancement and health welfare, and the human welfare in 2008, the Ewing Maron Kaufman Foundation created Global Entrepreneurship Week. Since then, it has grown from a series of events happening only in the US and UK to expanding to over 16 countries. So the first entrepreneurs emerged in New Guinea who trade obsidian for food and other goods. The invention of money is the turning point of entrepreneurship history and paves the way for it to move beyond borders. The first book on entrepreneurship is published. The Irish-French economist Richard Cantillon is the first to use entrepreneurship in the book Essay on the Nature of Trade in General. So social initiatives that strive to create a positive impact in the society while making a profit start being considered as a form of entrepreneurship. So you need to discover your passion or a common need you believe you can fill, then discover ways you can monetize it, do market or consumer research to confirm if there is a really a need for your idea. Design a business plan, test run the idea with friends, family, and experts and improve it based on feedback. Put a team together if necessary and market your product. So adaptability, persistence, and leadership are the three important skills every entrepreneur needs. But other skills such as creativity, problem solving, and communication are also necessary. Numerous risks are associated with entrepreneurship, including competitive risk, fluctuations in currency, reputational risks, sales execution risks, and operational risks. So participate in the Global Entrepreneurship Week. Every year, several events, activities, and competitions occur in countries worldwide to celebrate Global Entrepreneurship Week. Check the internet for the ones happening in your area close to you. Mark the date and come prepared to learn and expand your network. If you have a business idea that you have been contemplating, Global Entrepreneurship Week can be a perfect time to take a leap and make it happen. Business pitching competitors are as an essential part of Global Entrepreneurship Week. You can check if there is one happening in your area, enter the competition, and prepare your business plan and pitch ahead. If there is no Global Entrepreneurship Week event happening in your local area, why not organize one? Entrepreneurship is a topic that many organizations love to get on board with, especially when it involves youth. That means it will be a little less difficult to obtain sponsorship, create a project plan and a proposal, and submit them to many like-minded organizations as possible. Don't wait until you get a signed partnership to start preparing the necessary logistics for the business. The rule of thumb is to prepare 3 months ahead. So there are 582 million entrepreneurs worldwide. That means about 5% of the global population are entrepreneurs. According to a study, 60% of the small business were started by people between 40 and 60 years of age. Older adults tend to embrace entrepreneurship. A significant number of entrepreneurs, 26%, choose to Google their problems rather than turn to colleagues or books for advice. So Google is an advice resource for entrepreneurs. The US ranks top in creating enabling business climates for entrepreneurs and developing small businesses. And the US is the land of entrepreneurs. Most US business were built from scratch. About 80% of the US business owners built their companies from the ground up, and fewer inherited or purchased their business. So entrepreneurial individuals have brought about every new technology and innovation in recent memory. That includes the likes of Thomas Edison, Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, and Elon Musk. By introducing a new products and services to the market, these entrepreneurs improved the standard of living, evolved society, and paved the way for new markets. We are faced with an unprecedented existential crisis with climate change, and entrepreneurship will be essential in helping us mitigate and adapt to a crisis such as this. One of the key reasons Global Entrepreneurship Week was founded is to highlight entrepreneurship as a driver of economic growth. Entrepreneurs are job creators, and through their innovative ideas, they bring about new and improved products, services, and technology. All these have a ripple effect on the economy as it contributes to increased employment, creates more qualified workers for industries, and generates more national wealth. Entrepreneurship doesn't only address economic issues, but issues of sustainability too. Social entrepreneurship, for example, helps solve problems of education, water scarcity, and gender equality, contributing to the sustainable development goals. This week is also commemorated as Geography Awareness Week from November 13 to 17, 2023. The aim of Geography Awareness Week, which occurs every third week of November from November 13 to 17 this year, is to raise awareness about the significance of geography to everyone's lives and encourage people to consider their relationship with the environment. Did you know that the world's geography was first used by Eratosthenes of Syria in 276 BC to 194 BC in the title of his book, Geographica? Geographica is the term for the study of places and how people relate to their environments. It is a field that touches other disciplines, including geology, botany, economics, sociology, and demographics. Geography Awareness Week was created by the National Geographic and became established by a presidential proclamation in 1987. So geography existed before human beings, but we never studied it until we became capable of thoughts and more aware of our environment. Although Eratosthenes first used the word geography, the ancient Greeks believed Homer taught this his poetic works. The Iliad and the Odyssey was the founder of geography. However, it was the tales of Miletus who created many of the astronomical and mathematical rules that served as a foundation for the scientific study of geography. Under the Roman rule, geography flourished and was used to further the empire's development and expansion. The ancient Romans used geographical systems to construct a transportation system which consisted of 50,000 miles of road. They were also employed in building canals, aqueducts, tunnels, mines, and in military expeditions. One of the significant maps of the time and is the Pittinger table, which includes the entire Roman Empire, the Middle East, Britain, and Africa, China, India, and Sri Lanka. As individuals such as Marco Polo began to explore the known world in 13th century, geography developed and more people were encouraged to embark on similar explorations. The Portuguese and Spanish also contributed to the development of geography between the 15th and 16th centuries. Significant promoters of geographic studies of that time include Richard Hakluyt, Theodore de Bry, and Giambattista Ramusio. In the 18th century, geography became recognized as a discipline and was included in the university curricula across Europe. However, in Britain, it was taught as a sub-discipline. In 1830, the Royal Geographical Society was founded in Britain, and 58 years later, the National Geographic Society was founded in the United States. Geography continued to develop and expand in the 20th and 21st centuries, spanning various areas of human lives and our relationship with the environment. It has since undergone numerous transformations and is expected to do so again in the future. The word geography first appears in the title of Eratosthenes' book Geographica in 3rd century BC. The Babylonian map of the world, or Imago Mundi, is etched into a clay tablet, the first map created in 600 BC in the West. Universalis Cosmographia, a map by the German cartographer Martin Walsey-Muller, becomes the first map in the world. America is mentioned in 1507 in the West. The National Geographic Society is founded in the United States and became a significant popularizer of geography globally in 1888. So Eratosthenes is considered the father of geography, as he was the one that developed the early foundation of the discipline. So there are three main branches of geography: physical geography, nature, and how it affects people and or the environment; human geography, this relates to the people; and environmental geography, how people can possibly harm or protect the environment. There are a number of career paths one can follow if you study geography, such as agriculture manager, land economist, urban planner, climatologist, and geographic information systems analyst, to name a few. So, Geography Awareness Week is all about educating people on how we interact with our environment and the importance of geography. If you are knowledgeable about geography, you can educate people about it in an exciting format or invite a guest speaker to do that. You can film screenings, host a trivia night or contest, or organize a speaker series. Whatever you decide, you first need to secure a venue. This can either be a public space or your home. If you want to keep it to just family and close friends, send out invites and prepare the necessary logistics. You can expand on these using the resources available on the National Geographic website. So, geocaching presents an opportunity to build on navigational skills, map reading, and the use of GPS. You also get to explore new places at the same time. If you are an outdoorsy person, geocaching is for you. The activity involves using GPS to hide and seek geocaches, containers with treasures. Check the geocaching website for how you can get started. Earth catching is another form of geocaching. It provides an exciting way to learn about your environment and its natural processes. You can organize an earth catching field trip with your friends or colleagues. And if you are a teacher, earth catching presents the perfect way to teach your students geography. Earth catching and geocaching websites offer several resources on this activity. So, Antarctica is the largest desert globally at 5.5 million square miles with a climate that prevents plants and animals from thriving. Antarctica stands as the largest desert in the world. When one end of Russia is starting their day, the other end is winding down. 70 times bigger than the United Kingdom, Russia is the largest country globally, straddling two continents and covering 6.6 million square miles. And Russia is home to 11 time zones. Nearly 90% of the world's population, that is 7.7 billion people, that is, now recently we have crossed 8 billion people, lives in the northern hemisphere, the half of the earth to the north of the equator. So the northern hemisphere is home to almost everyone. Mount Chimborazo is the Earth's highest point, although not taller than Mount Everest. Mount Chimborazo is the equator. In the equator is the highest point on Earth. That is because its location on the equator makes it 7,000 higher in the sky than Mount Everest. Every year, North America and Asia get closer to each other, reducing the distance between the continents and the size of the Pacific by 2 to 3 centimeters. The Pacific Ocean is shrinking. So, geography helps us to address global challenges like climate change and variability. Rapid biodiversity loss and deepening inequalities are issues that threaten our existence now and in the future. Geography is a discipline that touches many other disciplines like physics, chemistry, geology, political science, and sociology that allows us to leverage it to delve deeper into the root causes of these challenges and develop solutions for them. Geography offers the knowledge and tools to understand the various natural processes and earth systems. It demonstrates how our activities affect the planet and how interconnected we are. For example, an increase in global temperature due to human activities can drastically impact climate change patterns, forcing us to adapt to how we live. Understanding your location in relation to your environment by using landmarks telling north from south using maps to navigate your way in an unknown area, or how to use GPS are some of the navigation skills that geography helps us develop. This week is also commemorated as National Education Week from November 13 to 17. So this annual day takes place in the US during the week before Thanksgiving. It fosters national dialogue between parents, educators, and students on how best to revamp the education system felt more frequently than any other time. Traditionally, its principal idea has been to remind us the roots of American education, but the real reason we love it is because it inspires us during the academic year by celebrating the achievements of public schools and honoring those who have celebrated to improving education in the US. So, if you'd like to become one of these people, here are some educational uh, opportunities to help you to get right on the track. The idea of National Education Week was first proposed in 1919 at a meeting between representatives of the American Legion and the National Education Association, NEA. It was first observed in 1921 with the stipulated aim of addressing the shortcomings of the American education system that has been given rise to startling high rate of illiteracy in the country, nearly 6%. Since then, the week preceding Thanksgiving has been earmarked as National Education Week to generate awareness, curiosity, and excitement for learning, while also celebrating absolutely vital place education holds in our society. It also functions as a mechanism for public schools to secure funds to meet their needs. Every year, the National Education Association, NEA, decides on an annual theme for the National Education Week. For example, one theme is that substitute educators play a vital role in the maintenance and continuity of daily education. Also, each day of the week is assigned different activity. On Monday, the kickoff day, students are introduced to the theme and activities planned for the week. Tuesday is family day, and when parents are invited to live a day in their children's shoes, experiencing a school day from their point of view, making parents empathetic to the learning process benefits students in their performance in the classroom. Wednesday is appointed Education Support Professionals Day, and as the name suggests, it recognizes the importance of support staff. Thursday activity, Educated for a Day, is particularly interesting. Community leaders are invited to teach students for a day, sharing their valuable knowledge and insights. Finally, Friday is a Substitute Educators Day, which recognizes the invaluable assistance provided by the educators who step in to fill in for regular teachers when needed. So every state has a public school, but there are only about 500 in the entire country. And let's there be light. In 1870s, the first National Education Week is observed to help drive down the literacy rate. In 1921, let us read. So the NEA comprises a nationwide network of over 3 million stakeholders, and their website should be your first point of call. The US participation in the Greater War revealed that about 25% of the men drafted to serve were illiterate. This alarming figure prompted the NEA and American Legion to join forces to launch a nationwide education campaign. Well, there are many candidates for the top spot, but our favorite is To Serve with Love. The movie is based on E.R. Braithwaite's novel and features a master class in acting by Sidney Poitier. So, a potluck is a great way for parents, teachers, and students to meet and relax with one another. Sharing insights and experiences leads to greater cohesion in the community. So serve the community, why not switch roles and ask your cafeteria staff to get off their feet while students serve them for a change? Help support staff by mopping the floors, raking leaves, or cooking lunch. Do you know someone in your school who deserves to be commended for the role of they play? Why not collaborate with your local daily to highlight their accomplishments in profile future? The next time you think of complaining about having too much work, just remember that children in China have 14 hours of homework every day, making them the world's most studious population with information overload. One-on-one learning in 2014, an elementary school in Turin had only one student and one teacher. In Russian schools, after the morning assembly, the high school seniors led first graders to their classrooms by hand while ringing a ceremonial bell, sharing the flame of knowledge. Rap music has been shown in studies to significantly improve students' cognitive ability to grasp and practice complex mathematical concepts, the power to the people. In 2020, the city Montessori School in Lucknow reported a total enrollment of over 60,000 students in supersized school. So education is the springboard to success for every child. By honoring those who enable a safe, respectful, and conducive learning environment, we remember to honor the very best members of our community. The many essay and elocution competitions are excellent ways to showcase your talent and gain recognition from the peers. Nothing motivates students more than positive feedback from their teachers. So, National Education Week is an excellent opportunity for the students to learn about and apply for a variety of financial aid options. Scholarships are also available to help the teachers afford quality higher education. This week is also commemorated as Enterprise Week in UK. Global Entrepreneurship Week, GEW, in short, commences the second Monday of November every week and lasts for a week. Every year and lasts for a week. This year, it takes place between November 13th to 19th. The Global Entrepreneurship Network, CEN, oversees GEW, which is designated as a venue for young entrepreneurs to present their ideas and innovations on a global network of investors. GEW began in 2008 and has since attracted over 10 million participants from over 180 countries. Young Americans looking for the business partners to help fund their products, services, and ideas can look forward to a week long of events, activities, and competitions aimed at bolstering their presence in the global economy. The term entrepreneur derives from the old French word entreprendre, meaning enterprise or undertaking. It crossed the English Channel to Great Britain in the 15th century, but it wasn't until 1852 that it took on the meaning we know today. A person who organizes and operates a business and assumes much of the risk globally. Global Entrepreneurship Week, GEW, is an international observance that was born in 2008 out of Enterprise Week, UK. After the idea has crossed the Atlantic as Entrepreneurship Week, USA in 2007, the Ewing Marion Kaufman Hub Foundation made it an annual week-long celebration of entrepreneurship in the global marketplace in 2008. When the establishment was announced in 2007, representatives from 37 countries were present, including Jonathan Ortsman, president of GEW, Carl Schramm, former president and CEO of Kaufman Foundation, and Gordon Brown, former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Every year for a week, entrepreneurs, investors, and policymakers from every continent connect with innovators and job creators to help launch their startups. The GEW experience helps them plot their entrepreneur careers with the insight of those who have strived for similar success before them, whatever through local, national, or global activities. So, with thousands of events in variety of formats, from large-scale competitors to cozy seminars, the air is constantly abuzz with the excitement of new possibilities. The world needs entrepreneurs. It all starts with the idea that has the potential to change the world will change people's lives. Attend a GEW event and learn about how to get your business ideas funded, set up, and running. This week is also commemorated as American Education Week from November 13 to 17, 2023 in US. Every year, American Education Week is held a week before Thanksgiving. This year, it starts on November 13th and ends on November 17th. So, have you ever wondered how American education grew to be what it is now? American Education Week is celebrated to remind that re-inspire us to make education in American even better. So, American Education Week was first celebrated on December 4th to 10th, 1921. After the alarming rate of illiteracy was recognized, and a meeting was held in 1919 by American Legion and representatives of National Education Association, NEA. The aim of this special week was to create awareness about the need for education and garner support to fund schooling system. In the years that followed, American Education Week gained sponsorships that impacted the American education system. American Educator Week continues annually in every US community to present the achievements and needs of the local. This week is also commemorated as National Hunger and Homeless Awareness Week in US from November 13 to 21. 1 week before Thanksgiving, it takes place from November 13 to 21 this year. National Hunger and Homelessness Awareness Week creates awareness about the big problem the less fortunate face in the society. With the upcoming holiday season and harsh winters, it can be particularly difficult time for many, especially those who are struggling with hunger and shelter. Throughout the week, especially those who are struggling with hunger and shelter. Throughout this week, donations are made and volunteers sign up for the programs that aim to feed and rehabilitate those in need. Doing your bit for the needy is a great way to spread festive cheer. This is a chance for Americans to contribute to a social cause and help others. Nation Hunger and Homeless Awareness Week aims to eradicate homelessness by tackling the root cause of the concern. Throughout the week, awareness programs are organized, rallies are held, and the funds are contributed. This helps millions of Americans who find themselves on the streets. However, this is not the extent of the national coalition for the homeless efforts. Many homeless people are wrongfully thought as of criminals or miscreants. Although, with being discriminated against by law and city planning, the homeless population is also treated unfairly and unkindly by other residents. So, National Hunger and Homelessness Awareness Week also hopes to educate people about the reasons why people find themselves without shelter. This shows that they can do to help them without harboring false opinions about those in need. The struggle to fulfill basic needs can be difficult for many Americans who live paycheck to paycheck. An illness, injury, or job loss can easily lead to poverty, hunger, and homelessness. Data shows that about 43 million Americans live below the poverty level, and 1 in 5 children is afflicted by poverty. Approximately 500,000 Americans are without a home. Organizations help out by providing food, a place to sleep, medicines, and more. Celebrate the week by supporting local organizations that help people find jobs, permanent homes, and medical facilities. So the AIC, Australian Institute of Criminology, findings suggest that a disproportionate number of homeless people have a criminal history. Their crimes are normally less serious in nature, living in public spaces. The homeless are more susceptible to committing public order offenses like trespassing and public urination. Homelessness status offenses were the most frequently reported charges. This is the only type of crime for which charges were incurred more frequently in the homeless community. Behaviors included as sleeping, resting actively or passively, requesting donations, jaywalking, and even existing in public. This is known as loitering. Hunger in the United States is caused by complex factors. There is not a single cause attributed to hunger. There is much debate over who or what is responsible for hunger in the United States. Researchers focus on hunger and poverty. On any given night, there are over 6 lakh homeless people in the US. Many are homeless. Many veterans are homeless. Over 60,000 veterans are homeless. And the leading cause of homelessness in women is domestic violence. And cities in the US are increasingly making homelessness a crime, which blocks the homeless from participating in normal activities. On any given night, there are over 140,000 homeless children in the US. 1/4 of the homeless are children. So, with this upon us, it can be especially difficult for those struggling with basic needs. National Hunger and Homelessness Awareness Week is a great way to help out and reach and spread positive cheer. So, the ultimate goal of National Hunger and Homelessness Awareness Week and the National Coalition for the Homelessness is completely eradicate homelessness in the US. There are so many good citizens who circumstances lead to homelessness. The celebration of National Hunger and Homelessness Awareness Week also helps remind lawmakers and politicians to make policies that will eradicate homelessness. This week is also commemorated as National Young Readers Week. In US from November 13th to 19th, youngsters need to read, and Young Readers Week celebrated in the second week of November every year from November 15th to 19th. This year is a perfect opportunity to introduce your young ones to the incredible world of books. This week is also commemorated as Anti-Bullying Week. In UK, United Kingdom, Anti-Bullying Week is observed every year in the third week of November. This year it is held from November 13 to 17. Recognizing that bullying has a long-term effect on the victim's mental health and quality of life, this day seeks to combat bullying by encouraging a zero-tolerance policy. Schools and communities can set up systems to eradicate bullying and build a safe community. In 2002, the UK National Children's Bureau, NCB, and the National Society for the Prevention of Cruelty, NSPCC, established the Anti-Bullying Alliance. The Anti-Bullying Alliance, hosted by the NCB, aimed to give knowledge and about all forms of bullying experienced by children and youth. Through membership, shared the Scottish Anti-Bullying Agency, Respect Me, organized Anti-Bullying Week People wear pink colored shirts on this day and stand against bullying. And Anti-Bullying Week also raises awareness of bullying and discuss ways to prevent and respond to it. So sign up to pledge your support on the Anti-Bullying Week website, and you will also receive a certificate to display in your school, workplace, or organization. Social media is a great platform to pronounce anti-bullying. You can also stand against cyberbullying by reporting malicious and offensive content. Bullying affects education. Almost 160,000 teenagers have skipped school because of bullying. 57% of bullying situations stop when peers intervene on behalf of the bullied student. Older students are less likely to report bullying incidents, which is why it's so essential for others to intervene on their behalf. Labeling incidents as bullying influences whether students tell an adult and how the adult will respond to the incident. Verbal harassment is the most common form of bullying at 79%, followed by social harassment at 50%, physical bullying at 29%, and cyberbullying at 25%. So, though bullying affects millions and often leaves its victims feeling hopeless, it's a problem we can tackle by challenging it. We can change it, and it all starts by reaching out. We get to know our support. And we get to show our support online or at home, in our community, or at school by reaching out to victims of bullying and those we trust. If we need to talk, we provide ourselves and others with emotional support. And this week, we get a difference in the lives of those being bullied. See what you can do today to stand up against bullying, advocate for those who cannot advocate for themselves. Today is also commemorated as Symphonic Metal Day, which is a day set aside to celebrate the combination of classical orchestral arrangements and a heavy metal music. Has grown in popularity over the last few decades. Symphonic metal, also known as opera metal or opera metal organistic. Today is also commemorated as National Indian Pudding Day in US. To try the puddings that native Indians used to make using the original ingredients. Molasses and cornmeal are primary ingredients and give this pudding the perfect rich savoriness and density. So that makes it perfect time to celebrate the existence of this dessert. Over the years, people have shifted to new flavors and recipes, which resulted in silkier texture and more desirable taste. Sometimes this new traditional, uh, new English delicacy makes its presence known by few people with good taste and extends into their parts of the US. The Indian pudding is a bread type pudding that is similar to the cinnamon spice types of pies that Americans love. Rice or a rich sticking pudding. Foodies have revealed that the rich and savory flavor of the pudding blends perfectly with the softness and sweetness of the whipped cream or vanilla ice cream. Because it contains less sugar than most modern puddings, it's good for the waistline. Hasty pudding is a pudding of grains cooked in milk or water, especially a version made primarily with ground Indian corn. It is mentioned in the lyrics of Yankee Doodle, a traditional American song of the 18th century. Today is also commemorated as National Hugger Musician Day. On November 13th, a lot of work goes into the being a musician, and not everyone's aware of it. You know, a musician who spends hours a day practicing and hours a night playing at bars, clubs, and concerts, envelop them in a big way of loving hug and let them know that you are. So musicians have been around for a long time. As there has been music to play, however, the origin of music itself is unknown, as it is time immemorial, as long back to Vedas. So, as it has been around longer than the ability to record history, prehistoric music includes all the world music that has existed prior to any historical references. This includes traditional music apart from a part of Native American and African cultures. However, it is more common to refer to the prehistoric music as folk, indigenous, or traditional music. Archaeologists continue to speculate over whether the Didgeridoo Babe flute is indeed the oldest musical instrument. It's dated to be approximately 43,500 years old and is made out of cave bear femur. The quarry lies in whether or not the item was actually used as an instrument or just ignored by carnivores. When people think of worldly musicians who have made a huge impact in the way music has formed, they are likely to think of people like Mozart and Beethoven. Classical music was fashioned by musicians who lived during the rising of middle class. Many of this middle class in France lived under long time absolute monarchies. So music was performed in environments that were more constrained than they were in the eras like Baroque and Renaissance. The popular instrumental music was dominated by several well-defined forms, and the sonata, the symphony, and the concrete, through none of these were defined or taught as they were now in music theory. The 20th century brought major musical changes. Musicians strove to repeat the world the way they perceived it, where past eras of music concentrated on spirituality, the new golden The 20th century brought major musical changes. Musicians strove to represent the world the way they perceived it. The past eras of music concentrated on spirituality. This new modern period emphasized the physicality and the concrete. The invention of audio recording caused a boom in all genres of music, especially pop, rock, folk, country, and all forms of classical. So Mozart at age 5 composed his first piece of music, who is a child prodigy in 1765. So the John Bonham, considered by many to be the greatest drummer of all time, reluctantly accepted Jimmy Page's offer to join his new project, Led Zeppelin, greatest drummer of all time. Practicing is a fundamental part of being a musician. And if you want to be a really good one, it requires hours of doing the same thing over and over you get it. Whether you are a musician full time or you also work as a standard 9 to 5, music requires you to conform to some pretty odd hours. Some people can be up until 5 a.m. playing a show or recording at the studio before they have to be up only a few years later to start their day all over again. So finally, today is also commemorated and celebrated as Lakshmi Puja in Nepal and India and other counterparts of the world. So Lakshmi Puja is celebrated on the 15th day of the Kartika month of the Hindu calendar, which usually falls between mid-October and mid-November of the Gregorian calendar. This year it takes place on November 13th. Lakshmi is the Hindu goddess of wealth and prosperity, and puja means the act of worship rituals. So if you have not connected the dots already, Lakshmi Puja marks the occasion when the goddess of wisdom, luxury, wealth is up worship. To welcome the goddess into homes, people clean and decorate their houses and light lamps around the house and guide Lady Luck inside, and they offer their prayers to appease her and garner her blessings. In mythology, there are several stories about the origin of this day. So let's shine light upon a few of them. The first one is about a mighty king and his wife, who is believed to be the reincarnation of goddess Lakshmi. Rama was exiled from his rightful kingdom. Sita, his wife, and Lakshmana, his brother, followed him into a 14-year-long exile to a forest. When they returned, the people of kingdom illuminated their homes with lamps to welcome their king back. So, according to another ancient story, the goddess Lakshmi appeared from the churning of the ocean. The ocean was churned, a big mountain was draped with a powerful snake. Demons held one end of the snake, and the gods took the other. The churning began as many things popped up in the process, including goddess Lakshmi as So the churning began as they tugged at one end at a time, making things popped up in the process, including goddess Lakshmi and so Rangoli is a colorful geometric pattern made at the entrance of the house using powdered colors and flowers. It can be a therapeutic experience if done right. So don't just clean your house, but get rid of regressive beliefs and limiting habits. As you light lamps around your house, also fill your soul with good vibes. Wear new clothes, the brighter than better, and visit your nearest temple of goddess Lakshmi with offerings such as fruits and sweets. Play and give thanks to the. Wear new clothes, the brighter the better, and visit nearest temple of the goddess Lakshmi with offerings such as fruits and sweets. Pray and give thanks to Lakshmi for the God goodness in your life. Lakshmi Puja is the third day of the fifth day long Hindu festival of Tihar celebrated in Nepal. Gai Tihar is also celebrated on the third day of the Tihar festival to give gratitude to the cows. The ceremonies of Lakshmi Puja usually begin in the evening, while Gai Tihar ritual takes place during the day. People draw small footprints as a part of Rangoli to guide the goddess Lakshmi to the puja bench in their homes to her place in temple. Business and shops also celebrate Lakshmi Puja to seek the blessings of the goddess prosperity. Small children sign traditional carols with Bailu and Desui, and in turn, they receive blessings in the form of money, fruits, and sweets from neighboring houses. So on this day, everyone wears new clothes, bright colored clothes, especially those red and yellow, are considered more auspicious than others. Today, local delicacies are prepared. These include both sweets and savory dishes to everyone in for a tasty treat. In Nepal, Tihar is a 5-day long non-working holiday For most, everyone sure loves, enjoys a long, delightful holiday full of festivals and colors. So, with this, we shall conclude today's commemoration. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on this wonderful day. So, see you all tomorrow. Take care. Good night. And before leaving, do not forget to fill the feedback form, which has been shared in the form of Zoom polls. So, see you all tomorrow. Take care. Good night.